are back on Career Chats with Mal. And I'm just excited to get this year going, get this year started with, and I'm joined by my first guest for the year, Lavern. And so thank you, Lavern, first of all, for your availability and immediately, just being so open to the invitation from the start. So yeah, I don't want to do a lot of talking. Lavern's going to do a lot of the introductions, but just to say that Lavern has studied psychology and currently working in an NGO called Passion to Serve. And I wanted to highlight, the work that she's doing in the NGO sector. So Lavern, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and then also a little bit about your journey into psychology.
Okay, excellent. First of all, evening, Mel, and hi everyone who will view this, who is viewing it. My name is Lavern Jones, and I am 28 years old. Um, from Steenberg, attended Steenberg High, attended Square Primary School. Actually, was in the same class as Melissa, so I'm so honored that we can actually have a platform like this to just impact and to give back to the community that has raised us and has shaped us so well. So, where do I start? So, this is an important question we always tell all participants who come to Passion to Serve. Who are you? Or tell us about yourself. So, I am, as I said, 28 years old. I am the eldest of two children, and I am currently working as a youth counselor at Passion to Serve. As Melissa has stated, that I do have my degree in psychology, which is actually an honors equivalent, and this I completed at Midrand Graduate Institute. They later changed their name to Pearson Institute. That's where I did my 4-year degree. I think that's it. Anything else?
Uh, so Laverne, you've mentioned, us growing up. I remember, our days at Steenberg High. Guys, Laverne was always just such a ball of energy. I don't know where I think she still is that person. Um, but yeah, that is the big thing that I remember about Laverne. Always um, very friendly with people around her. And I know for us growing up, going to Steenberg High together, having to navigate high school in an area where we had a lot of things that we had to deal with. I think, is there one particular thing that if you can think back to that time that you really had to navigate as a young person to be able to even get to the decision to study after school? Because that for me was something that I find that we didn't see a lot around us. So the easiest option was obviously for us to just go and find a job, because I think many of our circumstances would have pushed us in that direction. But to even get to that decision, was there one particular, time that you remember that inspired you to even get to that decision to study after school?
Okay. That's a great question, and I think it's very, very relevant. Everything that you have said. One, I won't say it's an event, I would say it's a person. My mother has always pushed me and emphasized education from primary school or since primary school. I've always known that I was going to study. We didn't know where we were going to get the money or apply for bursary, etc., but it was going to happen. Laverne, being the eldest, had to go study. I think that's also another dynamic perhaps we don't speak about often. The eldest having to change so much in a family, because I was the first person in my family to go and study. And then being the only person in the household studying, at the time we were like 12 people on the property. It was quite difficult navigating that. It was difficult studying. There was gunshots all around, and then you go to your class the next day, and people had a great night's rest, and they didn't deal with their cousin who was on drugs and or etc., with the drama that you had to deal with the previous night. But
Yeah.
so that posed a lot of challenges. I think for me, It was never a challenge. It was never even a question. I was going to study because that was my way out. That was my way out for a better life. And I thank my mother now for pushing me for that because I can see the fruits thereof. And then I thank myself for pushing
Yeah.
myself further for those few years because it's really difficult coming from a disadvantaged background because you compete with everyone who was privileged or who had more than you or even had less than you. So well done to everyone who is currently sitting with a degree. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. I take courage in, like, seeing, obviously we keep up to date with each other's lives on Facebook. Like, if I look at a lot of the or some people that have been in high school with us, we have some people that are lawyers now and that are um, in the banking sector, who is doing accounting and is doing amazing work in whichever area they are in. And so, I mean, here's two examples from the same time that we've graduated or finished high school in 2010. But there's more other examples that we can think about. People who finish school with us. So it is definitely possible.
It's definitely possible.
And so your journey into psychology. She want to share a little bit about, like, what is it that the person would need if they wanted to do psychology or go and study psychology?
Okay, no problem. So first of all, you need to, I would say, to know yourself. A lot of people that go into psychology because they have experienced trauma of their own. But this is not necessarily what it takes to become a good psychologist or to be able to sit with someone in a room. You need to be able to be resilient. You need to be able to introspect without breaking down. You need to be able to be critical and you need to be able to lead people. Psychology is not about giving advice. We never give advice. We're only there to guide. Remember, psychology is also the study of human behavior, so it is a scientific field. It's tough. It's not easy. You don't just sit and write things like this research is all of those things involved. So first of all, mentally prepare yourself for that. Secondly, you can of course then apply to any private or public institution. You can do your bachelor's of psychology. You can do a B-Psych, which is a 4-year course and it is an honors equivalent. So after 3 years, you would study, you would then get your degree. Okay, you won't physically get your degree, but after the 3 years, you would then have to go through a rigorous set of tests, and this would be your final year. We call it like our honors year, of course. Not everyone makes it into this, and unfortunately, if you do not make it into the 4th year, you don't have a psychology degree. You then have to perhaps do a BA in English or in politics, and then perhaps later on navigate your way back to psychology. But that's the stream it takes. So many people think it is an easy career path, but it's not. After your 4 years, you are not a psychologist, you are only a registered counselor. Oh, sorry. After completing your honors and doing your thesis, your mini thesis, you would then, of course, be signed off. You also do an internship, and this you have to have 172 hours, practical hours. My hours I completed at Portsmouth Prison, Heathfield High School, Retreat-Day Hospital, and Life Changes Rehabilitation Center in Ottery. So I had quite a variety, which was really, really nice. Also very not easy. Because you're studying and you're helping, you actually like have clients of your own, you have assignments, and then you have your own personal things that of course you are navigating through. So after you've graduated, this is not the end of the road, you then have to write your board exam. This is with the Health Profession Council of South Africa. You need to have at least 80% in order to pass your board exam. And this is about your ethics. So the Health Profession Board governs all our ethics. And without this qualification or without this documentation, you are not allowed to get paid for the work that you do. Okay, so that is why I'm a registered counselor because I'm registered with the HPCSA. After this, you would then have to do 3 years master's course, and only then would you be considered for a psychologist. You can, of course, then go further to do your doctorate for another 2 years, and that would be mainly a thesis.
Wow. So it sounds like the learning never ends.
No, never. never. And
But
sorry,
yeah,
I think one point I also do want to mention is that the learning is not only confined to your books, but it's also confined to yourself. Many people have made it into their honors or their final year, and then they wouldn't sign off because they themselves weren't ready, or because we don't want to put a psychologist there or a counselor in a room that would cause more harm to another person who is already in trauma. It
um,
is something that is quite a delicate. It's delicate and it's very serious, the job that you do, because you are sitting with people's emotions, people's mental health. So you need to be able to be stable and to be relatable.
sure. I think that gives us a really good picture of what what to expect. And I think you don't see a lot of this when you put in a Google search about psychology. You don't get the. I mean, you could read the pathway. You could
Mm,
probably find it easily on Google, but I think what you're sharing, the depth of what you're sharing, and like what people really need to consider when they think about psychology is a little bit more than just you
mm,
know I would want to help people,
yes.
um, and it takes way more than that. And so one of the reasons why I reached out to you was because of the work that I saw you doing at Passion to Serve, and I think since last year the work that you've been doing with moms, um, new moms, or groups of people sitting around a table having conversations. Recently, I saw work being done with young men, I believe, or it might have been a woman and men around job readiness or that sort of thing. So I'm very interested to hear how your work as a registered counselor fits into the work that you are doing at Passion to Serve. And what is Passion to Serve all about?
Okay. Excellent. That's a very, very nice question. I'll start first by how my qualification is related to the work that I am doing. So I was do note that being a registered counselor, going into the field of psychology doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to do one set task. I like this degree because it gives you many avenues. So you can have individual therapy with people, you can do group therapy, you can do workshops, which is something that I'm doing now. You can run empowerment or community workshops. You can start your own NGO, you can start your own private practice, etc., etc. You can do motivational speaking. So it goes into many avenues. So me, as you know, Melissa, I'm not a person to just do one thing. I love to spread my energy everywhere. So I have found my love in facilitating and teaching. And this is where I met Passion to Serve. So Passion to Serve is an organization that started about 6 years ago. The director of the organization and founder is Malcolm Salida, and this is also run with Dr. Faiza Khan. She is a clinical psychologist and currently posted at UWC. So the three of us, we work, of course, on the program and run the day-to-day at the NGO. So the NGO was founded in order to assist unemployed youth in our communities. And when I say our communities, I'm speaking about Steenberg, Lavendale, Retreat, Capricorn, um, I say Lavendale, Sea Winds, etc. Right? So these are all marginalized communities, of course, in the southern suburbs that we do assist. Even people as far as the Nova Park do come to our workshops. So we are thankful for them for taking that pledge and for coming. So one of the main programs that we run is the job readiness, and that is what you referred to earlier. In the job readiness workshops, we provide young people from 18 to 35, with interview skills, CV writing skills, how to write a professional email, how to conduct yourself, how to job search, because many people don't even know how to job search. And it's not necessarily because we don't have the knowledge. Maybe we weren't exposed to it, we don't have the equipment, and now we have a kind of a phobia against the internet, and many people don't know how to apply online for jobs. So these are things that we're navigating or we educating people about. Unemployment, of course, is rife in our community. It's the cause of crime, it's the cause of depression, families breaking apart, and so we really want to build our community. And therefore, we put this initiative, or Malcolm put this initiative in place. I've only worked at the NGO since last year, but I myself was a participant back in 2018. I had just finished my studies, written my board exam, and now I sat at home. I couldn't find work. People were employing counselors in the public sector, and it was difficult. So I attended one of these workshops, doing the interview, etc., etc. And Malcolm was quite impressed with my presentation, and he offered me a job. I was like, oh, yeah. But also with the skills that I have learned there, of course, I was still sending out my CVs. Later in that week, I received a call from another NGO. So I left for the 2 years. I worked at a donors Musati project, and this was an organization just dealing with marginalized and migrants and refugees. And I worked, of course, in the youth development sector. Fast forward, yeah, I am. So I still have so Passion to Serve is kind of that NGO where we build relationship with our participants. People come in, people go, and wherever you find yourself in life, you can always come back to Passion to Serve. So our job readiness program is really like at the core and in the heart of what we do, because we definitely want to empower our community.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
I think it's needed, especially with I think the conversation we had before we started recording. Young people reaching out, um, based on the questions that you had, them not um, fully recognizing the potential of the internet, where they could even access the internet, to get things going. And I think it's so needed. And you are going to say?
I was just going to elaborate more on the other programs that we have. So we know that oftentimes people, okay, it's a struggle to find job, to look for work. But then what happens when we do find the job? So this is also where our change makers comes in. So this is another part of our program or of our NGO that we are running, where employed youth from the community come together. It has a support group network where we share how we are navigating in the workplace. We share certain things about contracts, what to look for, how you can build yourself up, communication skills. How do I communicate with my superiors if there are certain things that I am struggling with? And I think that is also a very good, like a huge need, because we can get the job, but can we keep the job? So that's what we are doing. And then with the change makers, we are also starting a mentorship program where these employed individuals or youth are now giving back to the unemployed in the community, and leading them and like just
Yeah,
supporting, because we really need support. Imagine you come from a household of 5 people. No one in the household is employed. You found your first job, your whole salary is going for the household. What do you do? How do you find your independence? How do you build your life? So these are the type of things that we are assisting our young people with.
yeah.
Um,
Awesome. And so, what are some of the feedback that you've received so far from some of the participants that have gone through the job readiness so far? Or maybe if there is one person that came back and said, this is how, or where they landed up because of that program.
yes. So part of our job readiness program, part two of it is you come back for an assessment. The assessment is done with myself. And this is an in-depth assessment where we look at your goals and your qualifications, of course, and where you want to be in the work sector. From there, we help you with job searching and writing up your CV. We then put you onto a database, and according to whatever job vacancies we would have from various businesses, we would then recommend people accordingly.
Mm.
So we have successfully placed 10 individuals um, with jobs. Last year, two of our, sorry, Melissa,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening here with my video.
Okay, no problem. I still hear you, so that's all good.
Okay. So last year, actually, two of our participants were successfully placed in the EPW position, and we were also able to provide them with transportation. We got bicycles donated to our NGO, and we were able to donate them to these participants to also help them, so it cuts out traveling costs and safety. So that was really, really great. So, of course, we do have many success stories. I myself am a success story
Yeah.
of the NGO. And then we also have Candace van der Westhuizen. She is currently our assistant also in the office, and she is also a product of the workshops.
Awesome. And where is Passion to Serve currently situated? Where do people can people find the office or the place where you operate from?
So we are currently based in 11th Avenue Retreat, 153. That's the house number, 153 11th Avenue Retreat.
Okay. And the generally the programs are run also from this address, or do you as facilitators move to different communities to run programs?
So generally, it is run from our facility. But with COVID, of course, we have now used the wall at the Catholic Church down the street. I don't want to say the name. I think it's St. Anne's or St. Mary's. I'm not sure. St. Mary's, I think, because that's the one. But
Yeah.
anyway, uh, that's the church hall that we've been using just because, of course, for social distancing, depending on the numbers that we do have. And then the other programs are also run at our facility. So another one of the programs that we have that I'm really passionate about, I would say, or proud about, is the parent support group. We have seen a need in the
Mm,
community that we are living in for education and support for young parents.
yes.
Many, I would say, mothers, even fathers, of course, vulnerable. It's difficult to raise children, especially when you're
Yeah.
unemployed. It's difficult to raise children in our communities. We would know
Mm,
that firsthand as well. So we're offering support, we're offering education, because a happy parent means a happy child. A happy child means a happy community, and this is how we are, just another way that we are uplifting the community.
sure. Such a lot of stuff happening. And the obvious the community that can benefit is that of the surrounding areas that Laverne just mentioned. Um, but I wanted to find out, like, if there's somebody listening and they want to either join a program, become a participant, or if they have anything that they would like to contribute to the organization, whether it be through donation or whatever. How do they go about that, either becoming a participant or offering a contribution or whatever the case?
Okay, excellent. So, of course, you can always find us on our Facebook page, which is Passion to Serve. We have provided you with the address, which is
Yeah.
153 11th Avenue Retreat. And then our WhatsApp contact details are also on our Facebook page. If you feel that you would like to get to WhatsApp us to become either a participant or to donate anything, then you could also use our email address, which is info@passiontoserve.org, or you can go onto our website, which is passiontoserve.org. Let me just provide you with a WhatsApp number as
Okay.
well. Our WhatsApp number is 072-310-8207.
Yeah, I think that's the essence of what I wanted us to chat about tonight, and to just let people know, youngsters, as you heard Laverne saying, there's programs aimed at parents as well. There's programs aimed at young people who are currently unemployed. There are programs running for people who are already employed but want to give back in a way, and have this cycle, continue of investing back into the organizations. I really want to encourage you, if you're listening, to reach out to the organization, um, and the way that they are running the programs. I can see they invest a lot of time and energy into curating something that really serves the community.
So,
Laverne, is there anything you would like to say before we end off? Any last comments? You've told us about the projects currently running, or anything else, really, that you want to say as we end off?
okay. Um, so we have an upcoming workshop or parent support group, and that's on the 26th of February. The next job readiness workshop we will be having will be on the 14th of July. I know that it's a bit far, but we do have other programs in the meantime. So another thing that we also do is community outreaches and information sessions. This is run by myself. We also have a change makers group, and that's March the 12th, and that is an open group, an open invitation to anyone who is listening, anyone who would like to give back, especially those people who have degrees, and you would really just, to impart your knowledge. I think this is what our community needs, because we oftentimes we have our degrees and we move out of our communities, and then the rest of us, we are just there, we don't know how to navigate. So our community doesn't really get built up. So I do plead with you, if you are free on the 12th of March, you can join us. And if you would like to join our parenting support group, you can do that as well. And any other businesses, if you would like to either donate of your time, if you would like to donate resources, or even provide an opportunity for a young person to gain job experience, we would highly, highly appreciate that.
Awesome.
Okay. And then,
Yeah.
and then just of course, lastly, I want to say thank you to you, Melissa, for this amazing platform, for sharing, for creating this platform in order for us to share our experiences and to build each other up. And for everyone who's listening, I want to say, work while you are young so that you can rest when you are old. Please.
Yeah. Yes, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, Laverne, for your time and sharing yourself and your knowledge with us. And yeah, you guys know where to find Laverne, through Passion to Serve. And I will also be posting the details in the description. And when I do share it on the Facebook page, you'll see it in the descriptions there as well. Links to Passion to Serve page and so forth, so you can navigate that. But yeah, thank you so much, and have a good rest of the week, and all the best with the plans and many of the sessions that you guys have coming up at your organization.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.